The midday sun painted the sidewalks of Lawrence Street with gold, catching on windshields and shop fronts as if the city itself had been brushed with honey. It was just past 12 and the noise downtown had taken on that familiar lunchtime rhythm, honking horns, hurried footsteps, and the mingling scent of roasted coffee beans and fried onions floating from open restaurant doors. Wedged between an aging print shop and a tiny florist was a place called Luca's Grill. The sign above the door was modest and sun-faded, but the energy inside was anything but tired. At this hour, the restaurant pulsed like a heart under stress. Servers dodged one another like dancers mid-choreography. Ticket orders clacked loudly above the sizzling grill, and the register beeped in staccato harmony with the hum of overlapping conversations. In the back near the flickering exit sign stood Jayla Morgan, 21, focused and fast on her feet. Her black apron was smeared with ketchup and pen ink, and her shoe, though well-worn, moved with practiced precision. Her eyes, though tired, were warm and observant, always scanning, always ready. Jayla had a way of blending into the rhythm of the chaos while holding her own center steady. Her hair was pulled up in a patterned wrap, a pop of color in an otherwise beige uniform. Clashed with everything, but she wore it anyway. She liked that it reminded her who she was. In a world that often made her feel invisible, Jayla had decided long ago that kindness would be her armor. She was in her senior year at the local university, balancing her degree in public policy with this job, which covered her tuition, her rent, and her mother's prescriptions. Most nights she fell asleep with aching legs and open textbooks on her lap. And most mornings she whispered her grandmother's favorite line while tying her shoes: "You don't have to be loud to be known, just be steady, just be good." Her coworker, Nessa, popped a piece of gum and leaned against the beverage station. "Girl, I don't know how you do it. You smile too much. These people aren't tipping extra for good manners." Jayla smirked, refilling a soda. "Maybe not. But I wasn't raised to be bitter." Nessa rolled her eyes. "You're wasting that sweetness on people who won't even remember your name." But Jayla wasn't worried about being remembered. She was too busy paying attention like she always did. She noticed the same older couple who came every Wednesday and split the grilled salmon. She remembered that Mr. Green from Table 9 preferred his iced tea with 3 lemon wedges but no ice. And she noticed, even today, when a man walked in who didn't quite fit the tempo of the lunch rush. He was older, maybe late 60s, with weathered hands and an oversized wool coat that had seen better years. His shoes were scuffed, his cap faded. He carried a manila envelope tucked under one arm and a wallet bulging with receipts more than bills. No one looked up when he entered. Nessa barely gave him a glance. "Hope he's not expecting anything free," she muttered. Jayla said nothing. She moved toward him with quiet intention. "Good afternoon," she said, offering a small smile. "Would you like a window seat?" He hesitated, almost as if surprised she had acknowledged him. "Yes, thank you." She led him to a small booth near the front and handed him a menu. "Take your time. I'll be right here if you have any questions." He nodded but didn't speak. She returned minutes later with water and noticed him studying the menu like it was a map he wasn't sure how to read. Eventually, he cleared his throat. "Just the vegetable soup," he said. "No bread." Jayla nodded. "Good choice. We made it fresh this morning. Carrots, thyme, a little rosemary." "I'll bring it right out." As she punched in the order, she noticed him clutching his wallet again, opening it slightly, then tucking it away. She'd seen the gesture before. It was the look of someone counting bills in their head, deciding between hunger and pride. Nessa peeked over her shoulder and snorted. "Soup only. You know what that means." "He's staying for the heat, not the food." Jayla didn't answer. Instead, she reached into her own apron pocket, pulled out the $5 tip she'd earned earlier, and slipped it to the cashier. "Add a roll to the soup," she whispered. "Tell the kitchen it's on the house, but don't let him know it wasn't." When she returned with the bread, she set it down gently. "Chef's special today. Says it goes great with the soup." The man looked up, a flicker of emotion passing through his eyes. He didn't speak, just nodded, slowly and deeply. She moved on, serving the next table, checking drink orders, laughing at a child's knock-knock joke at table 3. But something about the man in the booth stayed with her. The way he ate with such quiet purpose. The way he kept glancing out the window as if waiting for the world to remember him. When she brought his check, he hesitated again. "Could you check this?" he asked. "Just want to make sure I've got enough." Jayla smiled. "You're all set, sir. Don't worry. He looked at her for a long moment, then handed her a $10 bill. "Keep the change," he said. She nodded. "Thank you. It was my pleasure." Before he left, he paused beside her, resting a hand lightly on the booth for balance. Then, reaching into his coat, he pulled out a small, folded note. "This isn't much," he said. "But if you've got a minute tomorrow, give it a call. Just a conversation." Jayla took the note. His hand was warm, trembling only slightly. She looked down at it once he left. The paper was soft and worn, the writing neat and deliberate. A name, Elliot Langston. A phone number. Below it, in gentle cursive, "Don't judge the wrapping. Some gifts are quiet." She tucked it into her apron before Nessa could see it. Later that night, sitting on her bed with her textbooks unopened beside her, Jayla reread the note again and again. Something about it didn't feel like an invitation, it felt like a test or maybe a beginning. 2 days passed before she dialed the number. When she did, a woman answered, cheerful and professional. "You've reached the executive offices of Langston Hospitality. How may I direct your call?" Jayla froze. I was given this number by Mr. Langston. He told me to call." "One moment, please." There was a soft click, then a calm male voice. "Jayla Morgan?" "Yes. This is Elliot Langston. Thank you for calling. I'd like to meet you today if you're free." That afternoon, a black sedan arrived outside Luca's grill. Nessa's eyes bulged. "What in the Bridgerton is this?" Jayla ignored her. She took off her apron, folded it neatly, and stepped outside. The driver opened the door for her. Inside, the car smelled faintly of leather and lavender. A chilled bottle of water waited in the cup holder. They didn't drive to a restaurant. Instead, they pulled into a tall glass building near the edge of the business district. The elevator required a security code and thumbprint. At the top floor, Jayla stepped into a space that smelled of new wood and fresh paint. Photographs of restaurants from all over the world lined the walls, bustling kitchens, smiling staff, shared meals. And standing beside a floor-to-ceiling window was the man from the soup booth, clean-shaven now, dressed in a slate-gray suit. "Miss Morgan," he said, smiling warmly. "Welcome." Jayla blinked. "You own all of this?" He nodded. "Langston Hospitality Group. We oversee over 100 restaurants across the country. But that's not why I asked you here." She said nothing. "You treated me with dignity," he said, voice even. "You had no reason to. I wasn't rich in that moment. I wasn't important. I was just a man in a worn coat. But you showed kindness without condition. And that's rare." Jayla swallowed hard. "I want to offer you a position," he continued. "Director of Training and Service Values. You'll help us redefine what hospitality looks like, what respect looks like across every restaurant in our group. The job pays well. Comes with benefits. And we'll work around your class schedule until you graduate." Jayla felt like her feet weren't touching the floor. "Me," she whispered. "But I don't have credentials for that." "You have character," he said. "I can teach skills. I can't teach heart." She sat down slowly, heart pounding. "Yes," she said. "Yes. I'd be honored." Word spread at Luca's grill like a dropped plate in a quiet kitchen. By Monday, the whispers had become stories. And by Friday, Jayla's name was spoken like a secret spell. She didn't come back to collect her last paycheck. Instead, she left a note in the break room. "Thank you for the opportunity. Treat people like they matter. Because they do." Jayla. Her new job changed everything, but Jayla didn't. She traveled to dozens of restaurants, rewriting manuals, leading workshops, and reminding servers, hosts, and chefs that every customer, every coworker deserves to be seen. And once, months later, she returned quietly to Luca's. Sat at the same booth. Ordered the same soup. This time, a young server smiled at her, served her promptly, and when the check came, there was no charge, just a note on the napkin. "Thanks for setting the standard." Jayla smiled. Her grandmother had been right. You don't have to be loud to be known. Just be steady. Just be kind. And kindness, she realized, was never small. It was everything.